Alright, now we are ready to model. So let's begin, and this is how I like to start. There are many various methods out there to use to start modeling faces, but this is my method, and I think it works nicely. I'm going to actually not start with a sphere as most kind of tutorials do, but I'm going to start with a polygon cube. So I'm clicking on my polygon cube. I'm going to hold my shift key down and just drag it, put it into place. I'm going to give it an x value of 0. I'm going to leave the y value, and I'm going to give the z value a value of 0. So now I can see that I've got a cube. I'm going to hit with still the cube selected in object mode. It's green, so I know I'm in object mode. I'm going to hit 3 on my keyboard, take it into sub D, or display the polygon smoothness level. And if I was to render this, this would still render as a cube. This is kind of, unless you're using mental ray, but if I'll just do a quick kind of render here, it's still a cube. Look at the alpha channel, I can see that it's still a cube. I need to convert this in order for this to work. So I haven't gone up any levels. If you're very familiar with subdivision, I haven't gone up any levels or down levels. I've just selected a cube, hit 3 on my keyboard, and I'm going to go modify, convert smooth mesh preview to polygons. Now I get this kind of sphere that is composed entirely of quads or four-sided polygons. And this is exactly what we want to start modeling our head. If you go back to the chapters in the book, I talk a bit about topology and best practices for modeling organic surfaces for animation, especially the head. Everything has to be in quads, and this is mainly because of our export to Mudbox, which is, or even into ZBrush, which is getting to be more and more of a, not just a popular method, but actually a better practice when modeling. The kind of advantage here is that we have more control over how we start to model than if we were to start in Mudbox or ZBrush. So let's continue, and let's just see how we can match our head up. You can see that if I move my sphere up to kind of match the head, I can't really see my image plane. If I hit 4 on my keyboard to go into wireframe mode, it doesn't really help me either kind of see where I start to scale and move things. What I want to do is go into X-ray mode, and this X-ray mode is up here on my viewport. I just click it once, and now I get kind of a semi-transparent grid, and I'm able to see my head. So all I'm going to do right now is just position this to match the head, and I think I'm just going to do a uniform scale up just to match, in my front view anyway, the height of my head to my jaw. Just something like that. Now be aware, I don't know what your hairline's going to be like, so this is a little bit higher. My hairline's probably a bit lower, so I'm just going to scale this down just a bit more. That's more like hair coming up there than skull. That's looking pretty good right there. I don't want to get modeling too far ahead here and start moving vertices around to match the head, because I want to just outline or just get the overall shape. And what I'm modeling here is the head, shoulders, or head, neck, and shoulders, sorry. Actually, I think for this I'll probably just model the head and neck. And you should always approach modeling as kind of like you're modeling in clay. If you've ever had to in high school model clay art class, and you have to model somebody from from life, you're starting with a big lump of clay. You get this huge brick, and you pound it into a basic skull shape and neck before you do anything else. And that's what we're going to do here. Is we're just going to, we got this pounded into a sphere, let's make our neck. I'm going to do this by right clicking my mouse and going into face select mode, and I'm just going to select these bottom faces. Now I'm holding my shift key down. Another trick here is, if you're not familiar with this, is hold your tab key down and you can paint select. And this is new to 2015, and I'm sure they'll have it in 2016 as well. I'll make sure I've got didn't get my back there. So I've got that kind of bottom section highlighted, and I'm just going to go back to my polygon shelf tool, and I'm just going to click on that extrude. And if I do a thickness down like that, I get this funny looking extrude, which is it's more extruding according to the direction of the normals of the individual polygon faces. I don't want that. I'm going to go Control Z to undo that. Instead, I'm going to use my move tool. So I'm just going to click on my move tool, and I'm going to move these straight down. And this will save me a lot of time. And then with these faces still selected, I'm going to hit R, hotkey R for scale, and I'm just dragging this down and back up to flatten out that bottom surface. And I can probably see this. I'll go into X-ray mode here. Scaling it so this bottom layer is completely flat. And while it's still selected here, I'm going to hit my delete key because we are not going to need that bottom surface or that inside surface here. I hit F8, get back into object mode, W for move, and in my side view here I can move, well actually it's not too bad here. I think I'll probably just leave it, but if your image plane was here but now is offset here, now is the time to kind of move your head back and forth in your in the Z direction to match your image plane. I'm going to leave mine for now. Quite quickly I have the beginnings of my head and neck to model my self-portrait.